What is up? We are back in black another day. Oh man, shout out to everybody out there at the Core Plantation. You know I'm gonna hit y'all with it. Did Jesus come back? Did he? God damn, you've been doing all this. Yeah, you been doing that. Did he come back though? That's my question. But anyway, shout out to everybody out there at the Core Plantation. I'm gonna give a shout out to Mariah, Tasha, Shani, Erica in the building, stand up, 066, Screwhead. Who else? I'm blank. Oh, and shout out to my brother David from No Compromise. David, man, I'm gonna chop it up with you, man. We definitely gonna get it. Try to get it this week. So much shit going on. My schedule, I'll be knocked out. I be having to be up at like 4, 5 in the morning. So, man, I'll be knocked out. But anyway, we gonna get it, man. We gonna get it, man. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Shout out to everybody that's handling business and doing what they need to do in order to survive. Shout out to everybody out there that is, if you're at church and you sing in on Sunday morning and got your Sunday school lesson going, hey, man, much power and respect to you. Shout out to everybody that has Ogun spirit and mentality. Shout out for everybody that has that dirty bookman prayer. You know what I mean? Because that's a very, very good prayer you need to have. So shout out to everybody with that, man. Man, we gonna get into it today, man. We got few things to discuss. And other than that, we gonna get into it. Man, let's get it. Let me cut this shit down. Man. What has been going on? Man, so much to discuss. The subject today is the face of abortion. As they talk about this Roe v. versus Wade and all this other shit, but they want to get the perspective from black people and black mothers and why they have abortions. No, get it from white people. Why you gotta always make us the face of the bullshit? You know what I'm saying? And then we be so gullible to want to talk about it. Oh yeah, I had my first, I'm reading this article. I'm like, hey man, like why do you even need to do that? Let me tell you what I think about abortion and Roe v. versus Wade. I think of genetic annihilation, as our brother Dave from No Compromise talks about, and what I have read from the ISIS papers. Genetic annihilation. Margaret Sanger and the Negro Project. I don't know where that book is. That book is, no, it's not over here. But it's called the Negro Project. And it's basically Margaret Sanger duplicitous plan, to genetically annihilate black folk. She said we were like weeds that needed to be exterminated. And she went along the Bible Belt, got a whole bunch of black preachers and black people that were co-signing the shit to tell us to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So we would basically genetic annihilate ourselves, and they would have to do it for us by killing us and shit. She got a very, very prominent people like Mary McLeod Bethune. I think it's Mary McLeod Bethune. Eric always helps me with that. She's the co-founder of Bethune-Cookman University. And she was like a big time co-signer of that shit too. Cause a lot of times black folk, we just feel like we helping out each other. So we don't think nothing of it. But a lot of times, man, we have to understand and we wake up, man. That's the one thing that I've learned. We have to wake up. And I'm not talking about waking up from sleep every day. I'm talking about like wake up, man, and look at what's in front of you. I was chopping up with some of the homies that I talked to, I used to work with, and there was just a situation where I felt like sometimes people take it too far because they just want to know what your business is, and they take it too far. And I just was like, a lot of the times, man, when you move on, you move aside to move ahead, people can't believe it. So they just want to know what you got going on in your personal life. Those are people that they don't have enough going on in their life where they want to be looking you up and Googling you and doing all kinds of sucker shit. And I think that ain't cool. That's just me. And we had a lot of conversations about the court plantation, and I just feel like a lot of the times this is my personal opinion. Shout out to Miss Tanya Latanya too. I got to call Miss Tanya too. I think we as a whole, I'm talking about United States of America Incorporated and people in general, not just black folk. I think that we are programmed and socialized and engineered to want to do a good job at the court plantation or whatever, because we feel like that's the original way of moving up and being seen. But I guess testing that theory out, it doesn't work. That theory does not work, and it's not meant for you to move up within this system, especially if you are not a part of the dominant society. Now, that may be different for other people, and other people might have their own opinions and perspectives, but this is just my perspective. I don't think that that's feasible, and I don't think you moving up within a court plantation is going to be what you think it's going to be. You know what I mean? And we have to wake up to that, man. We have to understand when we're being used for evil. Why y'all making black? I was reading this article on CNN, and this article was basically like, black women say they are invisible in abortion right fight. We are still forgotten within all of this. No, sometimes you kind of bag back and let everybody else go ahead and take a stab at it. Because let me tell you something. Now they're going to change the trajectory and make it, oh, well, this is for black folk. No, nigga. No. This is about genetic annihilation. This is about the ISIS papers. This is about racism, white supremacy. This is about Planned Parenthood being in the hood. And then when you go to places, if you live in Las Vegas, Nevada, like Summerlin, you don't see no goddamn Planned Parenthood in no damn Summerlin. You don't even see liquor stores in Summerlin. You see Lee's Liquors and I forgot the other place. Total Wine and Spritz. That's what you see in Summerlin. You don't see no XXOO liquor stores, because that don't even exist in Summerlin. But what you do see is Total Wine and Spritz, and you see all this other shit. And it's like, I think sometimes we forget we want our stories to be heard. You want your story to be heard by black folk, really. You don't really want it to be heard by other people, because other people are gonna take it and like, oh, that's so sad about Bonquisha, having an abortion. They don't give a fuck about that shit. While you aborting your babies, the dominant society they got fertility clinics in their neighborhoods because they can't have babies. So it's like we have to understand that. We have to understand when we're being used, and we have to understand when we're being the billboard for something bigger than us. You know what I mean? I saw this judge, I guess he was mocking Asians. They suspended him right away for mocking Asians. But that one judge was calling black people niggas and shit for breaking in her house. Judge Lafayette or whatever, Boudinot or whatever the fuck that lady's name was in Louisiana. Oh yeah, those niggas broke into my house, those fucking niggas. They didn't fucking suspend her or nothing. You ain't even heard about that story. But a judge was mocking Asians. They suspended him right away. But these are just things that we have to wake up and understand, man. That's why when you get on these court plantations, don't be thinking you got the same amount of protection that they do. No. A motherfucker could damn near call you a nigga, and they still gonna be like, do you have it on tape? Yeah, that's gonna be very hard to prove. Do you have any witnesses? So it's like, we just have to wake up and understand that. Another thing we have to wake up to, same thing, the R. Kelly thing. R. Kelly get 30 years, Ghislaine Maxwell gets 20. Now, how is that? Why she didn't get no RICO charges? This is just things that you do. I'm going to still bring up Brittany Griner. Now, why the fuck? are they not talking about Brittany Griner? Why is everybody not making a big deal about it? Because nobody gives a flying fuck about her like that. It's just for the moment in time. You know what I mean? That's why I highly suggest you stay in your lane and you handle your business. Don't be a floater. Don't be walking around, you know, in a daze. Don't be in the matrix. And we have to, look, nobody owes us anything as far as our mental capacity. You got to build it up on your own. The only thing that is owed to us is reparations because we built this country for free without repayment. But until we get that, we got to handle business. And let me tell you why reparations is so important. Because I feel like in this racial climate and in this recession climate, you know, we're going to need an extra set of eyes, ears, help financially. You know what I mean? It's time to start talking to the children about life insurance policies, stocks, bonds, 401k, getting into all that, man. It's very imperative that you do now. You know, now the prices in Las Vegas, Nevada for the homes is starting to drop. You know what I mean? I think it's kind of funny because the news, they play a great part in making motherfuckers want to rush out and go buy these houses because they are for the economy to make money off of us. They are the bloodsuckers of the poor. When you create a shortage, oh, ain't enough houses, you better get one now. There ain't enough houses, motherfucker, go buy anything. You buy a $600,000 house, you know it's only worth $250,000, but you're gonna pay over that price because you're gonna feel like, oh, I gotta get it. When in actuality, that same house gonna be $250,000. And I feel like the economy, the Federal Reserve and all that, this time they're trying to go out of their way to protect the housing market because I think they feel like they know what's gonna happen after that. But I really feel in my mind and my heart, you know, my gut is telling me like, oh, it's gonna go down again. And all these people paying $500,000 and $600,000 for a home, you know, they're gonna be upset. Just like, you know, people are, oh, the abortion rights and all this other stuff, man. Look, that's a distraction. That's a false flag type shit. They just threw that shit out there to distract people away from the terrible job that Joe Biden is doing and being in office. Motherfucker probably senile. Plus, two, he ain't even mentioned the black community since he been in office. He told the black community, y'all better get like these fucking Latinos. It's like, well, damn. Benign neglect is definitely in the house. Y'all got to remember, too, Joe Biden also said, well, why do I got to pay for what my ancestors did? I wasn't around for that. I didn't benefit. Well, you're a direct beneficiary of it. What the fuck you mean? You're a part of the dominant society in the United States of America Incorporated, and you're benefiting from it every day. The fuck you mean? Motherfuckers try to act like they don't benefit from it. Oh, yeah, you benefit from it. You know? You know, and then you see all these different type of agendas that's being pushed and, you know, all this other stuff. And then, you know, the college agenda, man, that to me is a ripoff within itself. Go get you a trade. If you don't want to go to college, go get you a trade. Don't waste your time and your money and energy going to school, taking these classes in African-American studies, a fucking useless degree that can't get you nothing. You can study African studies on your own. You can study it right here. Shit. You want to study African studies? Nigga, I got it for you right here. Nigga, I got it. What you want to study it in? I got it. Nigga, the fall of America. What you want to you want? Oh, you want to study African American studies? Go ahead, man. Shit, I forgot what this book is even about. Let's see. Man. Telling you, man. We have to wake up and we have to understand what it is, man. You know, and we got to stop thinking that, in my personal opinion, that the next door neighbor is going to save you or wake you up. Now you got to wake yourself up. And you have to understand what the fuck life is about. You know what I mean? Not just looking at some of these things. That's why I'm looking at Brittany Griner. Like, Brittany, man, you know you can't go on no plane with nothing. You can't do that in the United States of America, so why would you do that somewhere else and test these people like that? And that's why Russia's like, oh, bitch, you want to play games? Well, we don't give a fuck about you playing no basketball. Fuck you and basketball, bitch. Guilty. Now you got to plead guilty and all, and that's fucked up, man. My issue that I have with that is, where's everybody at, man? Why is nobody out there being enraged and speaking out against this shit, man? Nobody wants to touch it. But as soon as they get her out, everybody gonna take the credit for it. Yeah, she made a mistake. God damn, that doesn't mean that we sit there and let her rot. You know what I mean? And be over there. We look. Let's break this down, black folk. When we go into these third world countries and we go into these other countries, hey, when in Rome, do as the Romans. You can't go in these countries and just think you can do what you want to do. You better do what they tell you to do. That ain't the United States of America Incorporated. You know what I mean? And we gotta stop thinking we the big dogs on the block and we can just go and do that in other countries and other atmospheres and think we can get away with it. That's all. You know what I mean? And stop being the spokesman for everybody. When people talk about abortion, sometimes just be slow to speak and eager to hear. Let them talk about their abortion experience. You keep that shit to yourself. Keep that in-house. Because that's what they like to do. They like to take our experience and fetishize it and bastardize it and then put it for the people. And then people can, oh, I feel so bad for Monquisha and all. Nah, man, sometimes it's just good to just don't say anything. You know what I mean? And you have to understand that. That's why I bring up Ghislaine Maxwell and R. Kelly. If they was basically doing the same thing, they should both get 30 years. Why she get 20, he get 30? And then you see what they did to R. Kelly? They strangled his fucking financial shit where he couldn't even get a proper defense. They were just doing all kinds of sucking shit to him. No, I don't agree with a lot of the shit that he did, but that's neither here. But he made great music. This is what I don't agree with before I get out of here. This is what I don't agree with. R. Kelly's been making hits since the 80s. Everybody wanted a piece of fucking R. Kelly. After the whole event took place with the Aaliyah situation, and I'm not talking about the details, I'm talking about when they allegedly got married and all this other shit came out. After all that shit took place, niggas was still doing business with R. Kelly. Jay-Z, everybody was. That was in 94, niggas was still doing business and making music with him. You know how many hits he made after that shit in 94? That nigga made so many goddamn hits. And everybody wanted a piece of R. Kelly. Then when the dominant society deems him a villain, now all of a sudden, all these black people, oh no, you know, I watch on Drink Champs how people be like, oh yeah, you know, I got daughters. Man, stop. Did you have daughters when you, niggas? Stop. Stop with all this bullshit. Because motherfuckers are adhering to a payer. That's what that is. I'm not saying I condone everything, but this, in my personal opinion, it's not even about condoning the behavior. Everybody condoned it, because if you didn't, then why was niggas going out in droves and buying his music? I was too. I didn't own a lot of R. Kelly music, but shit, they played it in the clubs all the time, moving body like a snake. My body's calling for you. You remind me of Majid. Like, goddamn, he got hits. He wrote hits for other people. Up in the club with Marcus Houston, that shit was dope. Nigga, I still bump that. That shit is cold. You'll never get that music back. So that didn't stop us from buying his music, but all of a sudden it stopped us from supporting him because the dominant society deemed him a villain. You know what I mean? In the dominant society, who did they use to make him a villain? They used us to make him a villain. And they used that ugly ass King Koopa alligator skin bitch, Tyrannosaurus Burke. They used her and galvanized the movement and got everybody on board because they had their own individual issues with R. Kelly, so they were able to do that shit. Listen to what I'm telling you, man, because that's what they do. They're very good at that. This happens at the Court Plantation all the time. If you mad at a nigga, the dominant society will galvanize a movement and get other black people to co-sign the shit just to get that one black person out that they don't like because they can't get him out. So this is the same shit. So what they do, they strangled his financial shit so he couldn't defend himself. They didn't do that shit to Ghislaine Maxwell, but they did it to R. Kelly. And that's what I don't like about us. If y'all gonna go hard on R. Kelly, go hard on Ghislaine Maxwell. She was doing the same shit. But I ain't never heard one black person, one nigga talk shit about. They don't even know who Ghislaine Maxwell is or Jeffrey Epstein, but they know who R. Kelly is. Oh man, he should have been doing that to them kids, man. All the time, man. Now you want to say something, and then Sparkle, you out of line. Going on the Breakfast Club and saying all this other shit. You want to say that when your husband or whoever for your cousin, your uncle got a job playing the bass for R. Kelly, it was all good. I'm not condoning what he did, but I'm just saying a lot of people were looking the other way and turning a blind eye so they can make money off of R. Kelly. And then when they could no longer make money and it wasn't feasible for them to be seen with him, now it's like, oh, I got daughters and I got kids. I can't have that. And it's like, hey man, we got to get out of that. Just like the abortion shit. Why is black folk the one on CNN talking about, oh, I had an abortion? Let these other racial groups do all that bumping of the gums. Sometimes we got to just sit back, relax, strap on your seatbelt, and enjoy the ride and let them motherfuckers make, the a scene and bastardize their movement. Sometimes just sit back and relax, man. Don't let these people have you out there. Oh, because they're taking away I need an abortion because sometimes, no, man. No, sometimes it's good to just don't say nothing. Even if you feel strong about that, be on code. Because we was not on code with the R. Kelly shit. I don't condone what he said, but goddamn, man, 30 years and this bitch get 20 and nobody is saying anything about that shit? Just like that kid in Cleveland that got shot 60 times. Like, well, why would you shoot him 60 times? Because they think we're superhuman, and we are compared to them, for the most part. And they know that. You better ask Henrietta Lacks. The stem cells healing people all over the world from her stem cells. You better go read Medical Apartheid, how everybody was getting yellow fever and all that other shit. Black people just still out there picking cotton and shit. Motherfucker, we wasn't dying off like they was dying off. Man, you better think about the Justinian plague in Europe. And then the Moors had to bring alcohol because the niggas is nasty and dirty and don't want to take showers and shit. Sleeping with the chickens and the hens and all that other shit. Go read, what's that book I had about the Moors? I forgot, but it was talking about it in that book. I don't know. I haven't really been reading about the Moors lately. I've been more reading about the United States of America history and how they did us. And how in this book I showed y'all, Martha Washington, 17,500 acres of land. So she gets 17,500 acres of land and sells some land to the owners of the Baltimore Ravens, but nigga can't get no fucking reparations. We can't even get 1 acre in a mule, but you'll allow them to have 17,500 acres of land. And ain't nobody saying nothing wrong with that. So I'll leave y'all with that. Remember, genetic annihilation. That's what that is. And we have that focus too. I get it. But stop pretending like you're bringing these kids in the world out of love. You're bringing them out of lust. And then, nigga, that's $1 million investment. And if you don't want to be bothered and the woman don't want to be bothered, y'all niggas should not be having children. Because let me tell you something. We don't have that type of community base like they did back in the 50s and the 60s, in the 1800s where the community would help with the child. Now it's like everybody for themselves. So you bring a baby into this world, you better be sure that the partner that you went into business with is really fucking with you. Because if they not, it's been one. Nigga, you go to child support, you do all that goofy shit, tuck shit you want. But nigga, that ends at 18. Then what you gonna do? Especially if you ain't did the right thing with the money. You get child support, you ain't buying no life insurance policy for your kids, you ain't getting one for yourself. You're not trying to help them better themselves so they not going to school for African American studies, so they cannot get a job, so they can be all they can never be in this society. You better wake up, man. And stop. And first of all, that narrative, so who gave you that narrative? Oh, I want you go to school so you get you a good job. Who gave y'all that narrative? And what type of a good job you think you're going to get with a degree in their system that's meant for them? So remember that. While y'all up here trying to do all this other shit, let me work hard and let me be honest. Them people are not honest. They are not fucking hard workers, and they know they're not, and they know it's their system that they benefit from, and they don't give a fuck. That's why Martha Washington's kids are going to maintain, because she had 17,500 acres of land. So remember that. And if you don't understand what the fuck is going on, I don't know what to tell you, but you already know what my saying is. My saying is, guilty, nigga. Shout out to Shawnee, Tasha, Erica, David, No Compromise, all y'all, man. Much love and respect, man. But, man, remember that, man. Wake up. And if you can't, go watch The Matrix, the first 3, not the last one. I'm out, y'all. Peace.